This is 8th grade math, Mrs. Pilons, for Wednesday, September 29th. Today we're going to be doing lesson 2.1, solving equations by adding or subtracting. We did this last year when we looked at isolating a variable and solving for it. Again, you can circle your variable. This says -10, so the opposite of that to eliminate it is to add 10 to both sides. The 10s are eliminated and you are left with x equals 14. Again, it's important that you take the 2 seconds or so to plug it in your answer for x's and complete the equation to see, does that make sense? Does 14 take away 10 equal 4? Yep, done. Again, that's called checking our work, and it's very simple, easy to do. Again, we can use whole numbers or we can use fractions or decimals, and we do it the same exact way. The variable can be on either side of the equation. So here I have 2/5 equals m minus 1/5. Again, m being my variable, I need to move 1/5. The opposite of subtracting is to add 1/5 to both sides of the equation. Remember that second side of the equation, the equal sign is what divides it. I've eliminated 1/5, leaving my variable alone to have m equals 3/5. Again, 2 seconds to check my work. I have 2/5 equals 3/5 minus 1/5. And yep, that works. That's exactly how we do this. Again, we can use whole numbers, fractions, or decimals, and it stays the same, despite how much you like or don't like fractions or decimals, right? You know that you have to do them. So here, if I have a -5 equals k plus 5, again, my variable being k, the opposite of a positive is to subtract 5 from both sides. And the 5s are eliminated, where I'm left with k equals a -10. Again, I can't tell you enough how it takes really no time to go a -5 equals a -10 plus 5. And yes, that works. If you spent $10 and you had 5, you're still down 5. So again, it's doing the opposite of what needs to be done there. We can also look at word problems, and we would solve just plugging in the equation. That would be example 4 on page 79, and I'm not going to type it in. We're having some issues with the recordings that are lasting too long. I'm going to talk to you about the addition property of equality. And what that says is you can add the same number to both sides of an equation and the statement will still be true. I can show that to you in terms of numbers, and I can show that to you in terms of algebra. So again, I could say that 3 equals 3. Well, that numbers wise makes a lot more sense. I could say 3 plus 2 equals 3 plus 2, right? I've added to both sides of an equation, and that statement is true. Algebra looks a little different and can be a little trickier. Like I could say A equals B, and you're like, well, how can that be? How could A equal B? Well, it would be the same number, and I've just given it 2 different letters, but it can be the same thing. So A equals B, well, if I said A plus C, if I add C to this and I said that A and B were equal, then B plus C has to be the same. And I have, again, that same number. I can do that again. The logic works on the subtraction property of equality, where I can subtract the same number from both sides of an equation and the statement would be true. I could start with 9 equals 9. Well, 9 minus 5 equals 9 minus 5, which means that 4 equals 4. Again, algebra, a little differently. If I say A equals B, Well, if I go A take away C equals, then because A is B, then B minus C is the same. And I can't go farther than that once I have algebra because I don't have numbers. So I can't go back to A equals B, which it does A equals B, but I'm not going to get into the little craziness of it. So I do want to talk to you. Your assignment is odds and evens. You're to self-check. So very important. If this is your sheet of paper, again, your name is up here. Your 3 things in the top right-hand corner. Then what I want you to do is I want you to put the odds on one side and your evens on the other, because I'm going to look at your assignment. And I want to see odds. You could do odds on half of the paper and evens on the other half. Remember to self-check your odds. And you're going to turn in your work. So again, you could do odds on one side of the paper, evens on the other side. So dividing your paper in half, you might want to fold it to keep it neat, or use the front and the back. Odds on the front, evens on the back. But it's important that you do it that way. All right, see you guys soon. Bye.